I wanted to start this video by saying that I love making videos. It's something I've been doing quite literally since I was old enough to know how, old enough to put footage into an editing software and upload it to YouTube. I've been doing it. And I figure that's worthy context for the next statement, which is... Believe me when I say that I know how it feels to be super engrossed in a project, to have it become all you can think about and all you ever want to do. And I say this because understanding and being able to recognize that feeling comes with the downside of understanding what it feels like when that creative passion is gone, which for me has been the case for a while now. I've just been feeling a little bit directionless or purposeless, conflicted about what I should be doing, what I want to be doing, what I can do. Even the things that I love doing the most and that I am always excited about doing don't really spark as much passion or excitement as they typically do. And I think I've spent too long now trying and often failing to just push through and do it anyways, ultimately trying in vain to find the root cause of why I don't feel it anymore so that I can, massive air quotes, fix it. And ultimately I think that trying to figure out the root of this issue, trying to figure out why I feel this way is probably the wrong approach to take. Ultimately, I can't really control when or what exactly I'm going to hyper-focus on next, and trying to force it in one direction or the other kind of just ends up making the problem much worse. The majority of the time, it makes me more anxious that I don't feel the excitement about what I want to do. It's something I've kind of just had to accept that I don't have as much control over as I would like. I'm trying to get better at accepting situations like that. I feel like I created when I was younger with a vast amount more freedom and joy and, excitement. There was no preconceived notion that I should be spending my time doing something more quote-unquote productive, play the self-improvement game, jump into the hustle culture, and kind of just deal with the fact that I hate what I'm doing because, that's life, as capitalist propagandists love to say. Now, of course, that partially has to do with the fact that my mom passed away when I was 17, and her unwavering support and encouragement to continue doing whatever it was I loved was so instrumental in providing young me a level of security and sureness in myself and my abilities that I unfortunately come to realize is irreplaceable. Hello, Javier.
I'm glad I found you. Arthur, they got Bill. What? I'm gonna go take care of it. What? Come on.
I've never seen this encounter before.
He said he was going hunting. Never returned.
Well, I guess we're just gonna
I was able to track the tracers pretty
go with the
easily.
flow here. And honestly, this random encounter is kind of a good segue into what I want to talk about in this video primarily, which is the idea of sort of going with the flow. Well, I guess I gotta rescue Bill before I can start really going into the depths of what I wanted to talk about here, folks. Yeah, give me one second.
You idiots ever hear of Dutch's boys? You have no idea what hell is coming your way.
We're shaking in our boots.
Peekaboo!
Just in time.
Hello, Bill. What a wonderful little distraction here, eh? Look at the water pouring out of the barrel. Holy.
Well, I'm gonna head find a Bob.
What's next?
Well, anyways, now that that's ordeal has been taken care of, trying to embrace a more go-with-the-flow attitude, where I don't always try to have an exact plan for those moments where I feel a little bit purposeless or lost when trying to figure out what I should do next. To, be oh, shit! To actually be present in those moments, even if they feel kind of shitty. When I'm in a proverbial pit, I have this tendency to needlessly overthink and overplan or try to come up with some sort of grand epiphany that'll pull me out of my slump and get me back on track. And I've been trying to avoid that mentality and sort of embrace the fact that the slumps are part of that track and not something that need to be bypassed necessarily. To be more comfortable with the idea of just going where the wind takes me, accepting what has happened, not overthinking every possible future decision in the present. Man, what a beautiful game this is. I mean, come on. Mamma mia. cheese party. I've been finding myself appreciating each moment, even, or I guess especially, the times I feel shittiest, by just allowing myself the grace and time to just feel shitty, but keep pressing on, instead of trying to correct or make something good out of it. I'm able to more readily appreciate what beauty there is in each moment, even if it's not what I necessarily expected to be doing, or it's not quote-unquote optimal for me to be doing.
Alright, girl.
Alright, girl. Oh, what a beautiful sunset. When embracing that mindset, it becomes a lot easier to also appreciate a lot of little details that I might have glossed over otherwise on a day-to-day basis when I'm just trying to get to the next productive thing in my schedule. To quote the Beach Boys, I guess I just wasn't made for these times, or at least, at least my brain wasn't made for these times, it feels like. And so instead of just wallowing in my own perceived ineptitudes or failures, I've been making the conscious effort of embracing the way my fucked up brain works and doing my best with the tools I've been given on any given day. Trusting myself, trusting my gut, and perhaps most importantly, trusting the process. And a huge help in doing that has actually been playing and beating Red Dead Redemption 2, which I failed to do back when the game first came out in 2018. So in this game in the app, I'm just going to continue to wander the open world of Red Dead 2, go with the flow, you know, take in all the beauty, talk about how this game has helped me with finding joy in the little things of in my life, and helped me not worry as much about all of the things that are outside of my control. And it's helped me on both a, narrative, thematic level, as well as an actual gameplay, game design level, and I'm gonna go into, detail on how both of those aspects have helped me. Even that little excursion with Javier to rescue Bill, that's something I've never seen before, and I just went with it because it presented itself to me, and I'm trying to get better at not saying no to these opportunities that present themselves just because I feel like might not be the optimal way to proceed. Because ultimately, I guess it would have been optimal for me to just tell Javier to fuck off so I can keep recording my YouTube video, but where's the fun in that? I'm trying to fun max and joy max in every moment, and the only way to actually do that is to be in that moment and not be thinking, well, I hope this moment ends soon so I can get to the good part, because, if you live life that way, the good part will never come. To be clear, I'm not saying what comes will come, so I should just do nothing and, get God's plan or whatever. That is not at all what I'm saying. Quite the opposite, actually. Accepting that there will be things outside of your control should only embolden you to take control over what aspects of your life you do have a say in. I'm not talking anything huge. I mean, simple stuff like being more open to new opportunities, being more willing to sort of, like I keep saying, go with the flow. What time is it? 11? Let's set up camp right here. This is a beautiful spot. I have also modded the shit out of my game because, why would you even have a PC if you're not gonna mod your games, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, as I was saying, experiencing the redemption of Arthur Morgan, it gave me this weird sense of purpose and desire to use my own time in real life more effectively, and not by trying to meticulously plan out every detail. We see where that line of reasoning gets the gang, but by actually allowing myself to trust my gut, go with what feels right in the moment and be confident in that, rather than just trying to stay rigidly within the confines of what the fucking capitalist pigs that rule the world have convinced us all to view as a quote-unquote productive lifestyle. Oh, don't even get me started! And like I said, that feeling didn't just come from the narrative, but also the game design itself. Rockstar very obviously wants you to slow down and take the time to engage with all of these wonderful little immersive simulation adjacent gameplay, assuming it's not a story mission, in which case you will do exactly what you're told. But in the open world and in a lot of the side content, they encourage you to slow down, to take your time, to really engage with it the way that you see fit. And eventually the quieter moments in between the big missions became the parts I was looking forward to the most, especially as they grew, more and more scarce as the narrative progressed. And these feelings in-game were, almost uncannily parallel to my lived experiences while I was playing it, or, in the time leading up to me playing it. This is the perfect thing to do while I yap, just... As things in the camp continue to fall apart and more lives are lost, and things grow increasingly chaotic in this world that Arthur, and by extension I, felt very little control over, I found myself appreciating every small talk around the campfire, and every quiet moment I spent skinning an animal in the forest, bathed in moonlight. Every second I could take out to just look at the beautiful landscape and listen to the whistling wind. Obviously the skinning animals thing was exclusive to the game. I don't know how to do that shit in real life. And so even during moments that were mundane or, worse, I was trying to stop myself from looking for distractions or passing time as quickly as possible to try and get back to the good stuff. Just trying to let them happen, be present for them, and appreciate whatever I can about them, even if they suck. And I'm sort of talking both about the game and about life here. You know, experiencing Arthur's journey has helped me being able to ground myself back in the real present moment in a way that few games have in the past. After completing the narrative, I've found myself more capable of trusting myself to be able to overcome whatever obstacles inevitably arise in the future. I found myself generally way more comfortable just wasting time, or well, wasting in air quotes again. Just taking some time to relax and sit out in the sunlight, to take a trip off the beaten path and go somewhere that I hadn't originally had on my plans for the day, just because I got the idea to, or to just like spend 7 straight hours immersed in the world of a video game, if that's what my heart fucking desires. I'm still trying to unlearn the corrupt idea that you have to earn pleasure or relaxation, or if not, otherwise you have to fill every moment with perfectly optimal productive activities that will further your goals. And you should try to unlearn this too. Can I tear this down? Tear it down. Do not let the capitalist propaganda infect your mind and work on you, please. I, for one, would like to be able to go on a walk in the park and sit and watch the geese for a while and listen to some nice music without the CEO on my shoulder yelling at me to increase shareholder value, goddammit. And funnily enough, that kind of Hello? Oh, hey, I know you. Hey, lady. I can help you. Let me put away my guns so I'm not so intimidating, maybe.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, I love that line. I love that John and Arthur both frequently answer, you know, calls for help with, I'll see what I can do.
Okay. You need a ride home, ma'am?
Oh, yes, mister, please. Thank you. Do you know Valentine? I live there.
No problem.
You can head back that way, for sure.
Giddy up.
Just going with the flow, baby. And I feel like I should, you know, clarify that I'm obviously incredibly lucky to be able to struggle with these feelings or thoughts at all. You know, to have the time to ruminate on them for such an extended period of time, let alone to feel shitty about them. I'm in a very privileged position to be able to feel shitty about wanting to play and record video games, but not having the energy to do so. You know, that's a very first world problem. You know, speaking of geese, like I was saying, fucking, I'm getting killed by a very good life. And to tie it back into Red Dead 2, I noticed this mindset was helping me be okay with taking my time to wander aimlessly in the open world more.
You drunk or something?
Brother, why are everybody's a bitch?
You're a good man.
Glad I was able to help. You take care. Morning, friend.
Morning. You know, let's go out this other way. Let's head fucking west out of Valentine. But as I was saying, you know, relevantly, just sort of aimlessly wandering the open world and experiencing it unburdened by the FOMO that is sort of trying to be hardwired into all human beings by mega corporations and game developers alike. Not that I'm accusing Rockstar of doing that, but by embracing the sort of go with the flow mindset, I've found myself not treating it like a checklist of things that I have to get done. I'm treating this like an entire, you know, world's worth of things I can experience. And I took this approach on my most recent playthrough, which I think helped me to actually finish the game instead of sort of abandoning it in Chapter 4. And that's despite me putting more hours into the most recent playthrough than I did in my original. I was spending more time with the game doing things, but the way I was spending that time was much more conducive to me actually seeing it through and wanting to get to the end without feeling burnt out. And that's really the biggest, you know, takeaway I'm trying to get from this whole therapy session masquerading as a YouTube video game analysis. There's this ever-present nagging voice in my head that just wants me to do all of the stuff like so fucking much that it usually just ends up making me panic and overthink and accomplish much less with my time than I know myself to be capable of. When I ground myself and acknowledge and accept the present moment rather than trying to get to some future moment that I've already idealized within my head, I find myself able to listen to that voice and stop overthinking and holding myself back I might not get everything I wanted done. I'm never going to get everything I want to done. There's just an endless list. You know, it's never going to be complete, but that's more, you know, exciting than it is frightening to me. I might not finish every side quest, you know, I might start some and not finish them. I might not find every single secret, but I know that in the moments I'm exploring, I'm going to be enjoying it so much more. And I will accomplish so much more than if I allow myself to start overthinking the moment and trying to make decisions based on, you know, optimal fucking outcome, trying to min-max my every single everyday life, both in terms of my, you know, quote-unquote productivity and in terms of my leisure activities. Because once I start freaking out about what I'm going to do now, I start freaking about what I've done in the past and questioning my past choices, theorizing about how it might have turned out better right now, which is just a fool's game, because ultimately I gotta accept that I'm here now and focus on what I'm doing now and, you know, and go with the flow. Oh yeah, there actually was one encounter that I kind of wanted to seek out deliberately before this video ends, maybe as a little grand finale for after I've done all of the primary yapping. I feel like I should, you know, clarify that as much as it is easy to get carried away trying to overthink and overplan and end up being stuck, it's also easy to get carried away in the other direction as well. Of course, it's bad to be out there looking like fucking Dutch Vanderlyn, trying to have a plan, and, you know, have a meticulously plan everything out in advance and want control over everything and have a plan. But on the other hand, having no plan or structure and always trying to go with the flow is also going to probably end up, you know, making my brain want to melt out of my fucking ears. Man, what a beautiful fucking area this is, though. Truly. Sometimes I wish I was born in a different era, you know, in the era of the Wild West, so I could see this beautiful nature. I mean, it's still out there. It's just, you know. Although I also don't want to die of tuberculosis, so, you know, trade offer.
You done good, girl.
Alright, Chivo! Oh, my voice. But anyways, as I was saying, there is a way to find a happy medium between having no plan at all and meticulously over-planning to the point of failure and burning out and crashing out. You know, I have a tendency, among other things that I've already talked about, to try and jump straight into the maximum efficiency right away, or try and visualize the perfect way that I want to do things, trying to jump into that perfection instead of taking the necessary steps to get there, envisioning myself at the top of the mountain and wishing that I didn't have to climb. I spent probably 2 or 3 or 4 years at this point developing a solid system for keeping my shit together, you know, keeping my space clean and organized, taking care of my unfortunately innate adult responsibilities, using a fucking planner app, because if my phone doesn't scream at me to get a specific set of things done every day, I will forget to do them all, and then I'll freak out about it. And this took a lot of time to get... Excuse me?
What are you looking at, idiot?
Alright, anyways. Handled that. Ice agent down. Anyways, what was I saying? So I've developed this system for keeping my shit together, but it took me a lot of time to figure out exactly, you know, what days worked best for which chores, what time I wanted to do things, when I wanted to work in, you know, leisure activities, stuff like that. And so there are times when my phone will remind me of something I have to do that I can't really ignore forever, but I really would rather fucking ride around Red Dead and, you know, take out a bunch of Lemoyne Raiders instead for the next 3 hours. And when that feeling arises, I know I can say, alright, that's fine, I'll get to it later, and actually trust myself, instead of trying to force myself to do it now, or trying to come up with some excuse or reason that I can't. Just being able to say, it's okay, I don't really feel like it right now, I'll do it later, and actually trust that I will do it later and that I'm not just lying and coping. It's a very, very good feeling, and it's one that I guess I hadn't really realized I was accomplishing until I took a moment to look and, you know, reflect on what I was doing.
Hey, mister, help me! My horse died and I'm stuck here. You gotta help me, mister.
Sure.
He's gonna try and steal my horse now?
How about we skip the small...
Skip that fucking small talk, idiot. Anyways.
Yeah.
When I allow myself to just follow my heart, I guess you could say, just go wherever desire takes me in the moment, I am able to accomplish both the necessary bullshit adult responsibility cringe and the fun relaxing stuff too. I just have to be able to strike that balance between being too rigid and too loose with my plans. And like I said, it took me a long time to find that balance and to actually get good at, figuring it out in the moment, and I still struggle with it quite a bit. But I've been on a streak of, actually getting all of my responsibilities done on a daily basis for such a long time at this point that it sort of became second nature, and I stopped noticing how well I was doing at keeping it up. Which certainly makes it harder to congratulate myself on doing a good job when I've kind of have been doing it for so long I've forgotten that that's what it is. But as I've been getting better at finding the balance, I've been much more fulfilled on a daily basis. I've been accomplishing more even during my slumps, even if that is just like, I did my dishes and my laundry on a consistent basis for a month, and I never fell behind, which, I know, thank you, oh my God, thank you so much. And again, I was able to do this because I'm privileged enough to have the time to slowly build up these routines and habits over time. I don't have to squeeze every modicum of free time I have from the clutches of a disgusting capitalist pig that's holding me hostage 8 hours a day. And I'm very lucky. And do I smell another capitalism bad rant? Capitalism absolutely does make certain that the average person has an ever-dwindling amount of free time so that they can exploit FOMO to an extreme that is impossible not to mention. And if you're mad that I'm bringing up politics while talking about a video game, grow up. Politics is everywhere. Fucking grow some balls. Idiot. It's baked into the way we consume everything now. Promotional deals and seasonal campaigns and marketing focused on urgency and the idea that you're already behind because you haven't given your money to us. This battle pass is gonna expire. You're not gonna have this cool skin in the future. Oh my God, give us your money now! And now we're propping up a fucking AI industry by primarily marketing it as a way to skip all of the needless tedium that's baked into the system. Don't you hate doing all this stupid bullshit that capitalism forces you to do if you want to not starve to death or go homeless? Well, AI will do it for you, don't worry, along with making your art, interacting with your friends, and even most of your thinking. Hey, do you like having drinkable water? Sorry, again, I digress. To sort of, succinctly recap all of my incoherent ramblings this time around, take some time to appreciate the little things around you that you may otherwise pass by on your way to other pursuits. Try and live in the moment. Try and build up enough of a solid foundation for your daily life that you can take the time to not freak out about the future. And trust me, I understand how easy it is to freak out about the future. I think the fucking, white supremacist pedophile government might have just started World War III.
Alright, gonna kill myself now.
So, it is a little hard not to worry about the future, at least a little bit, and that's normal. Again, I talked about this in my previous gaming app. That's normal to worry about. Don't spend too much time trying to meticulously plan out your life. Just have a good structure to follow, and trust yourself to be able to figure out the rest as you go. I hope I made enough sense for anything I said here to be helpful to anybody watching, because I certainly know that I've spent way too much time recently trying to plan out a future that ultimately still remains uncertain, and it's been, sort of making me waste the time I have now, feeling directionless when the direction has always been forward, because that's the only way time moves. So yeah, thanks for watching. Try to go with the flow more, try and trust the process, and most importantly, like and subscribe. Actually, there's one more encounter that I wanted to look for before I end this video. I almost forgot. Alright, well, I guess I'll see you there when I'm at the encounter.
Later that same evening.
Alright, it took me longer than I expected to find this encounter, but I think I have arrived. Just gonna go ahead and grab my tools. I need my tools. Here we go. So yeah, this is how I'm gonna end the video. I'm gonna go ahead and ruthlessly slaughter all of these KKK members. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm excited for this.
Keep it quiet.
Of course. Whew. Oh, where you going? Where you going, pal?
Goddamn blood and rope.
Oh, no, you don't.
I'll kill all you bastards.
Another one down. Ah. That wasn't that fun, guys. Alright. See you next time.